You sexy people. Unmute the Skype. Arrow. Switch the scene. Ugh. Hello.
I muted myself, so that happened.
Well then fine, let me do this. Gray Cam, goodbye. Spike Cam, goodbye. These are my guests. Look at Gray. He's a kitty cat. Look at Spike. He's a Spike.
Yeah. I'm a me. I'm a me. That's the reality of things right now.
Oh man,
Might have made you a little too close, but whatever. Spike's face very big. Everything. Yay. Welcome to the tip.
Is there a way we could say that with a straight face? Welcome to the tip.
Welcome to the tip.
Fuck you, Gray. Nearly did it. Then you giggled.
This is our podcast where we talk about things and stuff, and then stuff and things, and we'll talk about some stuffing things.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby, baby.
Oh. Shells giggles.
And I have spittle all over my keyboard.
You're welcome.
So that's cool.
That's not spittle.
Hey.
Oh, the robot initiated for a second. Cool.
So, hello. How are you guys doing?
I am, well, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to 8 o'clock news with Spike, where we touch butts and don't talk about anything else.
Don't talk about anything else.
There's got to be a way to pop out cameras. Dynamic view? What does that mean? Shit. Normal view. What has happened?
Spike, I can see your green screen. This is awkward. We can fix that.
The delusion is ruined.
You mean there's stuff behind me? What?
You used to think Spike lived in the infinite void, and now I realize he's just a person like me.
There we go. Perfect.
Unfollowed.
Oh wait, I might be able to screw up the chroma key like hardcore.
No, don't do it. I just fixed it. Oh, you jerk.
Oh, that's good. You should just... Yeah, there you go. Keep it like that.
Yeah, perfect. You've never looked better.
I've never looked better.
Spike is actually stuck in a film.
Jesus. I removed everything. Everything is... Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This is me right now. This is what we're dealing with. This is what happens when I start to explore the settings in my webcam.
Spike has actually been held captive in a middle school art project.
An experiment in posterization. For fuck's sakes. Oh no.
There we go.
I accidentally moused over Skype.
Tense.
We're not Skype. Think stop. Stop.
I'm...
Spike.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have a giggle?
Oh man!
Like,
all right.
anyway.
Well, that's just 2 hours of this. That's what this is gonna be.
Now that that's been shared on the internet.
T minus till how many dick jokes, right? So, everybody knows us. I'm pretty sure. I'm Nate. TGPNate. TGP, the Game Pits. That over there is Mr. Gray1, Supergrey38. That over there ish is Mr. SpikeSethenTV, otherwise known as the Bald Toilet Swinger.
God damn it.
Bald toilet swinger.
Of all names that you could come up with, this is the bald toilet. Yeah, Shell, I am an old fucker. Doesn't get displayed until I remove my hat, though. Which is why I wear one every day.
Yeah.
Although I don't have very many, and it becomes quite apparent to me when I have to try and make it look like I have more than just one set of clothing.
So, what has everybody been up to this week?
Can I start?
Yep.
I bought a monitor, so that's a thing. The VE228 from Asus. I needed the new companion monitor because I don't have enough screen real estate for anything. I had Domino's because they're amazing.
Fucking eat.
Yep, basically. Listen, I'm American. I don't put anything healthy inside of me. Like, the healthiest thing I put inside of me is caffeine.
Fair enough.
I got...
You should get a spot on the Dr. Oz show. fit right in.
I purchased some new things to improve like casting stuff. I got another green screen. I'm gonna get a stand to actually put this on instead of just tacking it to the fucking ceiling. And for the most part, that's basically it. Like, everything else was just normal work routine for me. Wake up, clean the house, ask people if they need help with any of their computers, like the 40 people I talk to on a weekly basis, and go from there. That was my week.
Fantastic. Gray?
Until this week, I used to think Resident Evil was a really long game. and then I beat Resident Evil 2 in one day, and I was really disappointed.
Man,
without knowing, I got stuck for like an hour and a half, and I still beat it in 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that was disappointing. Childhood ruined.
Childhood ruined.
Back in the day when we were so young, we couldn't think things through very well, and everything just felt like it took forever.
Square hole, but I have a hex crank.
Yes.
And that's the entirety of Resident Evil.
In a nutshell, yeah.
Fair enough.
That is like all of the puzzles in those games, though. It's just find X shape to fit an X hole.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, I really need to get into, the club room, but I have the diamond key, and it's like, well, I guess I'll just fucking click on things for 3 hours until I find a club key.
Never found it.
Never found it.
Fuck that room altogether.
Never went to the club room.
And what about you?
I did a 24-hour stream. That was the thing. We went 21 and a half hours.
That's where I found out you really like lore.
I found that out too.
That's where I found out that at hour 20 I can no longer function.
And then decided no more 24 hours.
No more 24 hours.
Just a little bit of Nidhogg.
Just a
Yeah, a little bit of Nidhogg, and then, fuck, was that it? Yeah, that was the end of it. A little bit of Bashi, and then a little bit of Nidhogg, and then I fucking gave up.
To be fair, Nidhogg, that's like a glorious climax.
I'm such a fucking child.
No,
I hear the word climax, and the first thing my brain goes to is yes.
That's what I meant.
First thing, yeah.
Oh,
that's exactly what we were talking about.
It was intended to be that. Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I don't feel as childish
now. Nidhogg, I climax. It's
such as finishing to completion.
Yes.
So that 24-hour was a thing I did, and then after I actually got some sleep, I went back and did the fight that I couldn't do after 20 hours of playing a goddamn game, and I did it just fine. So
it was just the exhaustion just making your fingers not work.
Pretty much.
Was it spamming Quen? Was that how you did it?
Quen did actually help with fucking douchebags fireballs.
That fight.
It's just
that
the
fight
spells.
took me,
The
like,
spells he throws out are the thing that fucked me up the most, and those fireballs do so much damage, like half health every goddamn time.
Incineration's fucking hard, man.
Yeah. Beyond that, that was pretty much it. That was what the whole week led up to. Was that getting shit,
It's like the hardest fight in
getting
the
shit
game.
prepared for the podcast, doing taxes today. That's one thing.
Taxes.
Taxes.
Hopefully, I can. The main, hopefully, part of those taxes will go to replacing this chair, because I am basically sitting on metal bars.
That sounds intense.
Mm-hmm.
Beers.
Just like camping.
You're sitting on metal beers.
Metal beers.
Beers. You know, I'm gonna just totally ignore the program that we are talking upon because I'm not gonna name it. And I'm just gonna watch your faces via the casting region.
Delays.
Mm.
Okay. Now, let's go. So, first topic of discussion, probably what will consume this podcast, is how shitty is Nintendo?
Holy fuck!
Oh yeah.
Let's kick off with that.
Let's talk about that for the rest of
fantasy.
this podcast, and then keep going back to it because it's like
It's so
fucking.
easy.
But I mean, it's like it's so frustrating too, especially like being casters on Twitch, right? Like,
Yeah, being content creators, the stuff that Nintendo is doing is just kind of like, hey, you know those games that you bought of ours? Give us more money.
Give us more money. So
you know how like you overhype the shit out of our Wii U games and basically saved the system from failing?
yeah.
You should give us money for doing that.
So
But
for
that's
anybody,
okay. We'll be nice to you. We'll give you a portion of it now. Before we just took all of it, but I mean, you can have a little bit as long as your entire fucking channel is our stuff.
yeah. So let's give a little explanation to this for people who don't know. So
Yeah.
Nintendo created Nintendo, as you know, or most people should know by now, has had a long history with content creators on YouTube and wherever else, to where it was basically you guys are using our games, fuck fair use and whatever else. So initially they were taking all of the ad revenue from YouTube videos. That lasted only so long. A lot of people were still having the problem up until now, but it kind of petered off being talked about. And now Nintendo has come out with their new Nintendo Creators Club for content creators. And basically what that is they are requesting, they are demanding, not requesting, they are demanding that
Request
people...
is a nice word.
Yeah, request is a nice word. People who have Nintendo content on their channels have to sign up for a club. They have to then be authorized to be part of the club by affiliates within Nintendo. Now they have a whitelist of the games that you can show on your channel. The whitelist is very small, by the way, and doesn't include things like Super Smash Bros., Pokemon, some of their heavy hitters. Basically, how that goes is they will independently review your content. You can have other things on your channel. You won't make as much ad revenue if you do. And they have to approve the Nintendo videos that you have up. If you have videos of things that aren't on their whitelist, your channel as a whole, because they have two different things, right? They have part of the Nintendo Creators Club video content and then Nintendo Creators Club channel content. So if you have anything on your channel that isn't approved on the whitelist, they won't approve your channel as a whole and they will pay you less. If you weren't aware of that part, like you can have other shit on your channel, other videos, but they won't approve your channel as a whole and you will make less ad revenue. That's the breakdown of the Creators Club. They're
even covering things like the it's their entire library that they're talking about. Like
Right.
we're not just talking about like just the Wii U titles. It's like
All
Game
the way
Boy
back to
Color, Game
NES.
Boy Advance,
Yeah.
NES. It's like everything.
Yeah, and this whole like which games are approved and which are not program is insane. Like on the N64, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are not approved. And I think that's specifically because the 3DS versions are out now and they don't want people to remember that the
They
N64
don't want people
versions
to
exist.
remember.
Those didn't happen. Don't cover that. They're not real.
Yeah,
We've got
they don't
new
exist,
ones.
man. Look, we have these brand new games that you should pay more money for. I'm just gonna get us flagged by Nintendo right now. There you go. There you go. Now Nintendo owns any profits we could ever possibly make off of this podcast.
ruined by a Mario amiibo.
Amiibo.
Fucking amazing.
But yeah, I mean, it's like what a shitty fucking thing to do. Especially like you think, like the Ocarina of Time thing got me really, and just because like those speedrunners who have like just flooded Twitch with traffic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the speedrunning community.
Yeah, the
pretty
speedrunning
huge on
community.
Twitch, yeah.
And I mean, it's like Ocarina of Time is like one of their big games, right? Like that's one of like the pinnacles of speedrunning is like getting a record in Ocarina of Time. And then like just that it's like auxiliary traffic that provides for other games on Twitch, which include Nintendo games. So for them to say, well, I don't think you should be able to make any money doing this anymore. But I mean, that it's like the whole thing.
It's ridiculous how much they're cutting out. Like look at the whitelist and look at Super NES. F-Zero, Super Mario World 2, Super Mario Kart, Mario All-Stars, Mario World, Metroid, Star Fox, Link to the Past, Pilot Wings, Mario Paint, Yoshi Safari, Super Punch-Out. That's it. Fucking what?
You know what I'm not finding?
Isn't that all you need, Kappa?
Okay, all right, okay. So they have some of the Star Fox games, but not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have Star Fox Assault. You know what? If we retract this from the content creator portion.
Oh, thank God they got
at,
Star Fox Adventures on there though.
Oh, I loved that game. I'm serious. I loved that. I played Assault and I was like, oh god, the ship combat's fucking horrible. I just want to smack shit with a stick. Adventures, done.
The Star Fox game we always wanted.
I wanted them, like, when I was a kid, all I dreamed of was the day where I wouldn't have a ship, and I wouldn't have any space-age technology, and I would just have...
You just fought dinosaurs with a stick.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? That's the Star Fox every single Star Fox fan was dreaming of.
I understand where you're coming from with this, but like retracting back a little bit, if you look at this list and you ignore the content creation portion of it and just like look at it as this is what we want people to be able to show, it's almost like just flat out censorship. Like they're trying to hide the mistakes they made to make them look like a bigger and better company.
Well, I mean, that's a huge part of it, for sure. I mean, that's why they want to review your reviews.
If that's the case, though, then why aren't there two big sellers for the Wii U on that list? Smash Bros. 4 helps sell units.
Yes, you're right, but Mario Kart 8 also does that. And Mario Kart 8 is, in my opinion, it was bigger on Twitch than Smash Bros. Was.
That's because of the Melee community.
Smash Bros. Might be bigger now, but I mean, Mario Kart 8 was... You couldn't really go anywhere on Twitch without finding someone that was playing it.
Possibly, yeah.
But let's face it, that's the Melee community, though. The Melee community is what keeps Smash 4 from being that big. Because, the Mario Kart community was like, woo, upgrade! But the Smash community was like, Melee!
Yeah.
You could say that maybe,
That's
but
pretty much
all
entirely how that works.
all of Nintendo's push and all of the support lately has been for Smash Bros. 4. Like, that's what was featured at Apex. That's what got into, it became third game at EVO, was Smash Bros. 4. Like, they finally made the jump and just said, yes, we're doing EVO with this.
Yeah, but the last Smash tournament they just had, like, 4 got booed off the stage. Like, the winner of the tournament, he got booed off the stage because they wanted to watch Melee.
No
Like,
shit.
that's what I'm saying. Is that,
Oh,
like, there was, like, this article, like, a few articles, obviously, but, like, I just read it, like, earlier today, so I didn't put it on. But, I mean, essentially what happened, I don't know, I think that's just, yeah, I don't know. They don't want to fight with the Melee community because it's kind of caustic.
I also think that the Melee game is purely a fan service for Nintendo, because I don't think they actually appreciate that title. Like, if you look at their history in terms of like the esports communities behind Smash, a lot of the times Nintendo is like, no, we don't support this, and we're going to actually change the game to make it so we can't support this because we don't want the game to be competitive. And only until like recently has that been the case. Like, recently they actually kind of changed a little bit, but that might be why they don't want Smash on this list, because they probably just aren't proud of that game. They probably just make it because they know it's going to sell.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, they were definitely wary for a very long time of entering the competitive scene. And Sakurai and team have even said, like, they keep things unbalanced in Smash just so that it doesn't become a competitive game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really change anything, because people will just ban the ones that are unbalanced. And just
Right.
be like, all right, cool, balanced.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how tournaments work as a whole, right?
Basically. I don't like this character. This character's gone. Now it's better.
So talking about other dwindling Japanese companies. Capcom's a thing, huh?
I don't understand that company at all.
Well, they're very characteristic to what a lot of Japanese companies do, which is they make one game that sells, and then after that one game, they just pump out 30 others of it. Like, Square Enix has, 17 Final Fantasies now? And Nintendo has, so many Zelda games, so many Mario games, so many friggin' Donkey Kong games. It's just what seems to be the case, is they make one thing and then just all of it. Everyone, buy our games.
Let's who wants to explain the Capcom news?
I didn't actually read the article.
Oh, really?
Where you go?
No,
ahead.
and the reason
yeah,
why
I
I
mean-
didn't read the article is because it's Capcom. I just expect this to happen.
Yeah. Essentially what it is after there's been a 9-month report that Capcom just released, and in the last 3 fiscal quarters, they've basically just started plummeting in terms of sales. And the only 2 things that are selling really right now are Dead Rising 3, and the only big one is Monster Hunter 4.
Oh yeah, I
And-
could see that about Monster Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole thing is like that Capcom clearly needs to change the way they do business, but they're so resilient to like doing anything new at all. Or but yeah, I mean, their revenue is down 36%.
36?
Yeah.
42%.
Period ending December 31st, 2014 showed a 42% decline in revenue.
Oh, okay. And I misremembered. Anyways, yeah, I mean, their revenue is down incredibly. But I mean, I like a lot of that's just bad business practices, I think, for a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the history of the gaming industry in terms of the giants, and I think Capcom had its run. I mean, they've made their titles, they've had their big hits, but they've never been known as being a consistent company. Like, it's always been, all right, this one was a good one. This one, I don't care for it. This one's, why the fuck did they make that? All right, this one's a great one type of company. So
Right.
I think they're just reaching that point where they have nothing left.
And it's also just, you know, let's look at just their fighting game franchises, right? Because, fuck, how many times can I buy a slightly different version of the same game I've already bought? I had Street
Roster
Fighter 4,
updates are
and then I
great,
had to get
aren't they?
Super Street Fighter 4, and then I had to get fucking Ultra. Or Arcade
Roster
Edition,
updates.
and then it was Ultra. I mean, tell me
Yeah.
that's not going to happen with Street Fighter 5. It's going to come out as Street Fighter 5, then we're going to have Super Street Fighter 5, then we're going to have Super Street Fighter 5 Ultimate Omega Turbo Championship Edition. We're going to have a fucking Super
Third
Street
Strike.
Fighter 5
Capcom
New
would make.
Championship Ultra Turbo
Third Strike
Omega
leg free
Dead Rising
remix or something.
hacks.
Dead Rising hacked. Now you can play as X character with a chainsaw tied to a paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's, I don't even know what to say. I guess. It's just,
I
it's
don't know what to say about Capcom.
frustrating, is what it is.
And they take their best IPs and they go, oh fucking look at what they did to Mega Man. just look at what they did to the Mega Man community. Everybody was shouting for Legends 3, and they were like,
Okay,
And then it was like, well, if we hear enough community input about Legends 3, we'll make it. So the entire community was like, Legends 3, please. And they were like, not enough people said anything. We don't think anybody wants it.
yeah, and then it's like, I mean, Mega Man had a 25th anniversary,
And they did
and they did nothing. Like, they could have made they made so much money on Mega Man 9 and 10. If they had just released another 8-bit title, I mean, it would have been the easiest thing for them to do, and they would have made tons of money because it would have been a 25th anniversary game.
And then
If they
let's
had just
remember,
released- if
let's
they had just
remember how that
released it,
25th
like-
anniversary went down. A fan made a game for the 25th anniversary, and Capcom was like, "This is pretty good. This is 25th anniversary."
Yeah, exactly. They could have released just like a Mega Man Mega Mix, which is just like all the best Mega Man games they've ever made, like out of
Just a
any Mega Man
compilation.
series. Yeah, you just fucking throw a bunch of shit on a fucking disc, and you're like, "That's your 25th anniversary." That's what Nintendo did for Mario, and then people will be like, "Sold."
Right.
Thank you. Clearly you still care, but instead they're like, fuck you guys. I know you made us, but we don't respect you at all.
And then their mastermind of the Mega Man franchise fucking defected.
Because of course he did. Because why would Keiji Inafani stay at fucking Capcom when they just like beat his projects into the ground?
Right.
Mighty Number 9 will be Mega Man. It will just be Mega Man without shitty Capcom sitting there over his shoulder. And then he'll make all of the Mega Man money that they should have been making, and then it will be too late for them. They'll be like, "Oh wait, maybe people are still into this type of game." And then they'll try and do it, and it just won't be the same thing. They'll have already lost their...
They should have seen
they'll-
that with how big that goddamn Kickstarter blew up.
They'll-
Keiji Inafune
they'll
was
have-
like, I need some money to make this. And on the second day, he was past his goal. On the second day. No Kickstarter has blown up as hard as that one did.
Yeah, I mean, so essentially I'm just waiting for, like, Mighty Number 9 and Mighty Number 9X and Mighty Number 9 Legends and Mighty Number 9 Battle Network.
I like that idea.
like that's what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be so happy. Because the fact that it's called Mighty Number 9 is just like, I feel like that's just a big like slap in like Capcom's face. Like, that's
Basically,
just
yeah.
like him telling them to go fuck themselves because they're a shitty company, and they they ruined like his his baby, right? Like his creation.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when he left, right?
Not specifically, no.
Well, like he made a speech where he said the Japanese gaming industry is dead, and he left, and that's why he left, because it was so stagnant.
Well, as I said, that's just what Japanese companies tend to do in the gaming field. They just pump out 7,000 of the same thing. Innovation is stunted by constant repetitiveness.
Yep. So then we have to rely on the smaller companies and the indies to bring us new IPs. Because majority of other AAA companies will just keep pumping out the same thing so long as it sells some amount of units.
Yeah, yeah, I guess you're right. You can actually just quantify that to basically the gaming industry as a whole right now is the bigger companies tend to just produce the same content over and over again, which is not good. And I have a feeling I want to put a kind of projection out there based on that statement that if things progress the manner that they are right now, with just big AAA titles just constantly saying like, all right, this franchise works, let's make another one, with very little progression or like innovation in it, at a point we're going to stagnate, and it could make or break the industry unless we have a bunch of smaller companies that could carry the weight that the big companies are currently throwing around.
Right. But I mean, a lot of those smaller companies already exist, and I feel there's enough of them to where if the AAA companies crash and burn, they'll be able to pick up the industry.
Oh, the gaming industry won't die.
Boobs.
It's like AAA titles might become a much smaller thing, but people will like still be making good games. It'll just be on a smaller
Yeah, you're
scale.
right. I guess saying that the industry would die would probably be a little too broad of a statement. But I mean, like, right now, with the amount of money that's in the industry, what I mean to say is that this industry could really flourish. Like, we could see a lot of progression happen really quickly.
Absolutely.
But the stagnating effect could really hurt that chance, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. I mean, it's Hollywood Part 2. It's like
it's the
Hollywood
Atari
pumping out
fucking situation Part 2. It's the fucking ET game Part 2. Like,
well, I guess I guess it's
where
just
we're heading.
It's just the same thing we see in any entertainment industry as a whole, right? It's just that the bigger guys will continue to produce the things that sold some amount of money at some point, where they said, let's just stick with that and not deviate too far. That's the biggest problem there.
Yeah, I mean, well, you see...
I mean, for a while there, Hollywood wasn't making numbers at all. And a lot of what was being sold were independent movies fucking running around like Sundance and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're seeing it, like... I think a lot of the problem is, you know, companies like Capcom, they see, like... I mean, maybe not Capcom, but anyways, they see, like, Call of Duty is the #1 selling game every single year, and they're like, okay, well, we just have to make our own Call of Duty, and that's it. Like, there we go. Problem solved. And I mean, because, like, Call of Duty doesn't ever really innovate, right? It's like...
the newest one did.
Sort of.
Well, I mean, if we look at like the previous titles and then we look at what changed in Advanced Warfare, it's pretty big considering.
Yeah, considering. But I mean, it's like they didn't actually even really need to do that.
It's a new dev team.
To be fair, Ghost sold worse than, like, it was like the worst selling one.
Oh, Ghost is just superbly panned as the worst Call of Duty at this point.
Oh yeah, it had the lowest ratings across the board out of every single one of them.
But that being said, Advanced Warfare was just Activision's that team that worked within Activision's attempt at Call of Titan Advanced whatever.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be like a soft reboot for the series, right?
No, it's a different dev team, like entirely. Like they have parts from both of the teams that were actually the talent, basically. from both sides of Treyarch and whatever the fuck the other one was, because they have 3 dev teams working on this one title. That's how they can pump it out yearly.
Yeah, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer Games, and
Treyarch.
Treyarch. Yeah.
Yeah, Sledgehammer is the one that did the recent one, and they are basically the talent of both of the other teams put into one. So, but yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from, Nate. It is basically Titanfall without the Titans.
And slightly clumsier.
And slightly clumsier, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that being said, Titanfall wasn't really much of an innovation either.
Right.
It was basically Call of Duty with Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, like, it makes me sad what happened to Titanfall because I thought it played really well.
I thought it had 20 gigs of uncompressed audio.
Yeah, I mean, that's
just play
part of the
PlanetSide
problem.
2. It's free.
I mean, yeah. PlanetSide 2 doesn't have giant mechs, though. They just have tanks and planes.
Plus, you can't just, like, wall jump to wall jump to wall jump. Like, it was all that, like, the being on the ground part was almost more fun than being in Titans. Like, you just felt way more badass when you, like rebounded off of, like, 6 walls and then landed on top of a guy and broke his neck and then, like, jumped back into the air like fucking Batman. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the movement was fun. It wasn't... I don't know. It's got its flaws.
yeah, of course it does. It definitely has its flaws. I just thought it was funner than...
Game.
It wasn't Activision.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's just a bunch of people from Activision.
It was actually 2 people.
Who was it that published Titanfall? It was EA, right?
EA, yeah.
Yeah,
There was,
but a lot of
it was supposed to be EA's answer to Call of Duty, and that didn't work out at all.
They made it too much like Call of Duty.
They had no post-game support, and there wasn't enough content in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, yep, this game is released, and now we don't need to do anything.
Done. Remember the old days in the gaming industry when a game came out and it was done? Done. Fuck your updates.
God, you guys always complain about wanting it to be like it used to be. And then as soon as we try to do that for you...
No one's happy.
Oh, shit. So, continuing this long company talk, Sony Online Entertainment isn't part of Sony anymore.
Yeah. I wish they kept the name Sony Online Entertainment.
they just affected and they continued to call themselves Sony Online Entertainment.
Oh, that would have been amazing. Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see, I don't know, just their games on Microsoft platforms.
Are they actually going to do that? Are they?
They said they were really.
Yeah.
They said they were really excited to start
work
publishing.
multi-platform, basically.
Yeah. Cool.
And that they want to start working on Xbox, mobile, just anything they can get their hands on in terms of making games.
So is it really in terms of like defecting? Like
I think they were bought out by
online. Just basically say, "Oh, we're done with you, Sony."
Or yeah, they were bought out. Like I guess part of what it was is basically Sony put up a bid for that development house, and Columbus Nova is the one who picked them up, which are the people who own Rhapsody and Fiverr and a couple other things. They're like a Russian. I think they're Russian, and they just kind of get their hands into everything. Apparently,
they're the Google of Russia,
basically. Yeah, so that they bought them out, rebranded them as Daybreak Game Company. So now the Sony Online Entertainment House is going to be working multi-platform.
Yeah, Rhapsody's that music. It's like the thing that picked up Napster. And so. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like EverQuest. The new EverQuest will be multi-platform if they port it to consoles.
They shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah. But you know,
Like,
they're trying to do that with everything.
MMOs, they just don't work on consoles. Like the only one that's
Yeah.
ever been mildly successful was the Final Fantasy 14, 13, whatever one it was, the Realm Reborn. That one was mildly successful on consoles.
Yeah, not Final Fantasy 14, because that one was a huge clusterfuck.
Is it the Lightning one, the Lightning franchise?
No. It's Final Fantasy. It's a Realm Reborn. It's like when they seriously fucked up Final Fantasy 14, and they had to like, they basically had to like they took it off of sale and just like went back and like remade it because it was that bad.
Well, then the problem was if you paid any attention to the game shows or like footage from MagFest or anything, all of the newer Final Fantasy Online booths for their new online game just bare. Nobody's ever standing there actually playing it. So I don't know how well that's working out for them either.
No, I mean they still have
I'm sure it has a community.
Game. Yeah, it's still profitable.
People will always play something that's still supported, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think like yeah, I mean the thing with MMOs is like you get to the point where people are always like, well, what's its community like compared to World of Warcraft? And it's like
everyone goes to World of Warcraft.
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's just a behemoth, right? But I mean, it's like you can't.
It's a landmark title. It's where all of the numbers are.
It's just like what it only has like 500,000 unique players. Ugh, World of Warcraft has 12 million.
Yeah,
and it's like you can't do that, man, because it's like that's not how it works.
Success and popularity do not gauge whether a title is good or bad.
Basically. I mean, it's just
the way that I see things.
It's just like you can't. I don't know. You can't say an MMO is not successful if it's not, World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Because, like, only one game will ever be that big at any given time. Only one MMO. And World of Warcraft's probably going to hold on to the title for a couple more years. Until World of Warcraft 2 gets announced.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be a World of Warcraft 2.
I think there will be once they, like, seriously are gutted for subscribers.
They
will eventually. Like, it will happen. It's just it's going to be a long time.
I don't think it'll be World of Warcraft though.
No,
because like look at the franchises that Blizzard has. Like the StarCraft community is just as big as the Warcraft community was when they made World of Warcraft. So what if something that expands the universe of StarCraft? I think that's something they could capitalize on.
Yeah, I think though, like the reason I don't go to that is because people will be like, "Oh, World of Warcraft 2, I'm familiar with World of Warcraft. I'm familiar with that universe. I would go back."
Yeah, because I mean, not specifically everybody who got into World of Warcraft or is currently in World of Warcraft has ever touched a Warcraft game.
Yeah,
it's not a point of entry into the series.
I suppose, but
and you have to remember, now Blizzard is owned by Activision.
I'm pretty sure it's not an own situation. I think it's a co-partnership.
I'm not exactly sure what the relationship is, but I know it's like, I mean, it's just less likely to take risks, like they have been pretty much since it happened. I mean, it's not like Blizzard was ever known as a super risk-taking company, but
no, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, Activision is just they're a subsidiary of Activision, so
yeah, that's how I thought it worked.
Yeah,
Activision owns everything, but EA.
Fair enough.
CD Projekt Red.
And CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red.
As long as they don't own CD, I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
So
Project forever keep being you.
Go ahead, Spike.
Until you decide to stop being you. In which case, don't be Activision, and then we're still okay.
Just keep GOG the way it is,
Yes.
and I will be so happy.
I don't even remember. I'm gonna fucking stupid nipples. What am I looking at here? What are you laughing at now?
You remember when you said you were going to look at porn while we were streaming?
Oh, so I'm talking about nipples.
Started to believe that's something you're actually doing.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, the A Realm Reborn is okay. I played it for like a little bit, but it feels console-y. So
Yeah, it feels good. I don't know. I mean, like I was never a big fan of like the hotbar gameplay, but I did enjoy A Realm Reborn for a while.
Never touched an FF Online anything.
I don't like Final Fantasy at all.
Well, we know that.
Good. Final Fantasy.
Fuck the Iron Solari League. How about that?
The League of Legends thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about that.
I want to talk about that. What do you got?
What do I? Well, do you want my opinions or do you want an overview first?
Go with whatever. It doesn't matter.
All right. So, there was a what is it called? Iron Solari.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's an esports oriented like element of League of Legends that was addressing a situation about specifically lesbians, gays, and transgendered women in teams, like as players, right?
All right.
So after the successful and fun inaugural event, we're excited to announce the all-feminine tournament. So essentially what they're talking about is separating the events into male and female.
That's the base part of it. That seems to be.
And then there's also like each team will like putting all these points into consideration, we wish to experiment on the following changes in the implement in the second. Like each team will be allowed to have a maximum of one gay or transgendered woman for the entirety of the tournament day. Like I don't
My favorite part of that.
It's just why? Why? What is
My
the purpose?
favorite part of that section is where it says Team A's first game will be 4 female members and 1 gay.
One
Just
gay.
one gay.
Like
You can have a gay. That's okay.
like I don't understand the rationale or reason or concept behind this. It's just like you're needlessly you're separating people. What is a good way to explain this?
Well, you know,
It's like the slavery days of the United States where we just like partitioned which areas certain people of certain skin tones could be.
and you know why they even bother with any of this is because other entrants in the Iron Solari decided that having a lesbian, gay, or transgendered woman on your team allowed you an unfair advantage.
Please extrapolate into
Yeah,
where
that's the thing
fair
that, like-
advantage part comes in.
Like,
You tell me.
Is it because boobs create morale enhancements for stupid young men that play League of Legends, League of Lesbians?
but like, how does
don't
being
understand.
transgendered like make you give you some sort of super advantage?
Because you're all hopped up on new chemicals. Your testosterone, but now your estrogen at the same time. You're starting to sprout new things.
That doesn't
Right?
make any fucking sense. If anything, you're less focused because your
That's what
body
I mean.
does whatever the hell it wants.
Is like transgendered people are going like, especially if they're transitioning, right? Like that's like a really hard time in their lives.
Yeah.
No
Like,
fag.
like they're going through hormone therapy. You know how fucking hard it is for your body to like go through like completely new chemical processes?
This just in. All of the League of Legends players in the esports community have decided to abruptly change genders because it enhances their performance in the game. I'll be back with the weather at 9.
Oh, also, I'm pretty sure it probably helps their gameplay to have been considered like an other, like not a person.
Right?
God damn it.
Like that's probably like what really helps them like focus on the fucking game.
I don't.
It's like, oh my god!
That's the whole part of it too. Is that okay? So you can have.
If I was transgendered, I just wouldn't fucking tell anybody, and then I'd be like fuck you, I'm a woman, right? Like, what are you gonna do about it? It's like what are they gonna fucking like search your medical records?
Probably. If they're so worried about it, they probably would.
They're gonna get like a physician's order.
Proceed, Nate.
I believe there was something about that within the article.
Oh, really?
For events we do, we make sure that an inclusive environment where no one feels left out. That team has 2 gays. Get out.
Mm-hmm.
As long as only 20% of your team is gay or transgendered, nobody is left out.
So these are the 2 provisions put forth, right? Each team will be allowed to have a maximum of 1 gay transgendered woman for the entirety of that tournament day. Therefore, teams cannot do the following. Teammates' first game will be 4 female members and 1 gay. Then a second game, you will have 4 female members and replace with another gay or transgendered member. So within the same day, no matter which game you play,
they round robin their gay people.
Well, no, that's what they're telling you that you can't do. Within the same day, you have to keep the same gay or transgendered person.
I don't understand why this is even a thing, though.
Right?
Like, isn't that the same as you can't round robin out your normal fucking play? You can't just replace your fucking other players. So why do they have to point out that you can't replace your gay players? Are they that afraid? Like, oh my god, did you know how similar transgender people look to each other? We have to make sure they know that they cannot change with each other.
Yeah. Any team that has violated, who has violated the above provision, regardless of the intention, if intentional or otherwise, whether discovered during the day of the event or the time after, will have all their team members, blah, 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 blank, sanctioned for 1-year ban of organized events, including the subsequent Iron Solari tournament. So,
if you lie and they find you out, 1-year ban for the entire team.
This is stupid.
This is
genuinely stupid, and
that's why so fucking offensive too.
Exactly.
Here's the thing that really pisses me off about this, right? Is people are fighting and starting to succeed in traditional professional sports, right? In that, like the first gay NFL player was drafted or whatever, right? I mean, right. a huge leap forward. But these are like very traditional, very, run by conservatives organizations that it's really hard to break these stereotypes and just these prejudices, right? And it's still unacceptable for them. But now we're talking about esports, which is a completely new field, which is supposed to be run by people with modern views of things. And they're saying you can only have 1 gay.
The other thing about this is that, like, in fields like physical sports, like or the like, there are traits that come into play based on gender, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Is why they could separate them like that. But in video games, you don't need to make a male and female team.
Well, that's right. I mean, like. Yeah,
and that's almost like what they're trying to do here is like separate males and females from it's
yeah, the whole having male and female teams thing already doesn't make sense because there's no disparity in terms of video games, right? Like
Yeah,
In terms of physicality in general. I mean,
exactly.
it stands to reason you don't want to put a 100-pound girl in pads and have her get sacked by a 280-pound fucking behemoth.
Well, I mean,
that.
we just know, like, I mean, most women could beat me up, but when you're talking about professional, when you're talking about professional athletes, like, we know that when males and females are at the very peak of their physical condition, that males have an unfair advantage, and that's why they separate the sexes in leagues, right? I mean, but that's fine. We've accepted that that's a thing that has to happen, right? But this is esports. This is not like I'm not worried about, you know, that 300 fucking pound MMA fighter breaking someone's fucking neck because there's no way they could get the weight on him, right? Like, it doesn't matter. So, I mean, even just the separation of genders in esports is absurd. It's a dumb fucking thing to do. I mean, but now you're taking it one step further, and you're saying those lesbians sure have an advantage over those normal women. Because some reason.
Yeah. Brothel
because, I don't know. Like, because they have penis envy or something.
I have penis envy.
Well, I mean, Sigmund Freud was right about everything, right? Michelle can sack a quarterback.
She could. That's that.
Yeah, I mean, it's offensive in every way.
Yeah, any possible way.
Like, it's just offensive. Because the consensus of that whole thing is bullshit and it shouldn't be happening at all.
Ever.
It's just dumb. It's dumb and mean and degrading.
Degrading to people who already have, like, huge diversity issues that they have to deal with every day.
So dumb.
Jacob. I also like how it says transgender, like, females, but it doesn't even mention anything about transgendered men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it just assumes, like, they're just not even a thing.
It just assumes that if you're transgendered, you want to be a woman.
Yeah, like that's the only people in the world who are transgendered.
Basically. Yeah. Like just to kind of like argue in favor of the lack of necessity for something like this. Like we could look at the StarCraft community and what was her name? Zarin, the name of the person. David, I literally forgot it as I was gonna talk about it.
That happens, yeah. That's, you know, when all that hair starts flying off.
She's a transgendered she's a male transgendered female, right? And she's like one of the top tier players right now.
Right.
In the StarCraft field, like StarCraft 2.
Scarlet,
that's it. Yep.
Thank you, Zarin.
She is like one of the top Zergs out there right now and just kicking ass in every tournament that she's in. And like is the point of this article basically saying that she has an advantage because she's transgendered? That's what the article is basically saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially what the tournament
everything that you're doing is in talent and hard work. You just wanted to grow boobs.
Growing boobs makes you better at video games, obviously.
I mean, it would get me more Twitch followers.
I mean,
I'm thinking about implants, so what?
There are more transgender men than women. Well, that's because in the womb we all start off as women. And sometimes the chromosomes don't work the appropriate way.
And I mean, it is officially still with medical science. It is a lot easier for us to go somewhere as far as of fully transgendering ourselves than it is for a woman to come the male side.
It is a fairly unfortunate situation.
If you're talking about equipment and everything, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's it, right?
It's easier to make an Audi in any. My goodness.
Hilarious.
My goodness.
My goodness.
Probably the best player in North America. See? Nope, that's not talent or hard work. She wants boobs.
Right.
Thanks for that article, League of Legends tournament holders. Fucking douchebags. Even more reason to not play League of Legends.
Even more proof that the community is caustic.
So what next? Oh, mighty Nathan.
Pick one. What do you
Oh
got?
God, fuck. Shit. What do we do? Ubisoft is reactivating fraudulent keys for customers that were already playing. Any keys sold that have not been activated, and those sold in the future will remain deactivated. So this is on the topic of the thing that happened. I believe it was earlier, like last week, where Ubisoft terminated a bunch of like keys that were purchased from a specific person from G2A.
It doesn't seem to have just been
G2A
G2A either. It seems to have been sites like Kinguin as well.
But it was mentioned in my chat a while ago because it happened on a day and then it was mentioned like immediately afterward.
Right.
About people losing like Far Cry 4 and Assassin's Creed Unity and stuff like that, keys just being removed. And I said Ubisoft has the right. They were bought essentially illegally, like from a reseller that didn't have any rights to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And I said they have the right to do it. So seeing Ubisoft make a move like this, in my opinion, is brilliant. Because right now their public relations is fucking trash.
Right.
And making a move like this that literally is costing them money is good. Because it shows that, like, as a company, they're not completely heartless. Which they were starting to look that way.
Well, okay, so here's the whole thing with that, though. Is that, now, like, working in retail, there are certain things, that people can only buy so many of. Like, cell phones, for an instance. You can only buy so many cell phones at a time, in a day, whatever. Because there's been so many red flags about buying so many cell phones at once. So finally the government just stepped in and said, no, so many per person per day. That's it. Because drug dealers are going out and using these fucking burner phones. These keys were bought off of EA Origin Store.
Mm-hmm.
And in such a large number, why didn't anybody flag that purchase to begin with? Why is there not a system in place with all major sellers of online distribution games? We're like, oh, this guy just bought 5,000 copies of the same game. That seems fine.
Because Mark is out there.
Because some people have to buy 4 of the same game.
Because some people have to have that many versions of one game.
I mean, like, you're right. This is something that EA should have picked up on and stopped it before it got to the point where it did, where the reseller was able to make a profit off of things that he didn't actually have the rights to. Mm-hmm. And then other people got burned that bought from that person, which was Kinguin and G2A retailers.
Right.
I mean, I'm still on my position where I say Ubisoft had the complete and total right to do it, and doing this was a wise decision. But a lot of people are blaming Ubisoft, and I think you should actually be blaming EA.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think you should be blaming Ubisoft. I kind of don't even think you should be blaming EA. I think you should be blaming the guy who conned you out of your money.
Well,
I mean, what? Yeah, like, okay, so like,
I mean, we're not de-villainizing the guy who did it.
yeah, no, I know, but what I'm saying is that, like, I don't think they should necessarily be they should be blamed, because this is like the first time this has kind of happened, right?
No.
On this scale,
But
maybe.
this scale, yeah.
Yeah,
this
okay.
kind of frequently.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like, because you always used to have fraud where people would try and sell a key on Amazon or something,
Oh, yeah.
a key they had already used.
That's all
So essentially, what yeah, I mean, I think it's just like now if Origin doesn't put a system in place, then they're to blame. But I mean, a better way of tracking, like, oh my god, why do they have 10,000 fucking...
Right, and Ubisoft even said that they're working with EA to prevent this situation in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully putting in a system in place to check things like that and throw a red flag up that says, hey, this guy just bought X number of keys. There might be something going on here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you, Spike, to where Ubisoft more than had the right to stop all of those keys from working. And then the fact that they came out and said, well, for all of you people who already purchased it, redeemed it, and have been playing it actively, we're going to reinstate this for you because you obviously support our game. But anybody who hasn't activated or who buys these keys in the future, they're deactivated. Don't bother.
Yeah, like, that's... I mean, at a sense, like, this shouldn't have happened at all, but for Ubisoft to make this decision, this is huge for them, because they were starting to look like that shithole company that just released shovelware and made a lot of money from it.
Assassin's Creed Unity? let's release beta builds of games as
basically, like, that's what their company, like. And it wasn't even just like this year, basically everything that came, or not this year, 2014, basically everything that came out of Ubisoft was like, this is not what you said it was going to be for like the entire year. Like Far Cry 4 was like the only thing that was pretty close. And even then it had a bunch of buggy issues on launch.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was something falling. Sorry, I just heard like something metal hit the floor.
Oh, we heard it too.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic.
Well,
but
getting
this
swatted.
is good for Ubisoft. It helps fix some of the issues that they, or not issues, but public relations that they were basically terminating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this is a good public relations thing. But I mean, I hope Ubisoft capitalizes on it.
Like so? Going forward in a positive,
yeah,
than
exactly,
saying,
exactly.
Saying
oh, hey, look at how well we were received as a company after this. Like we should take that idea and just like fucking run with it and just become like the company everybody fucking trusts, and then people will just buy our shit because they like us as a company.
I don't think it's going to change anything with the way that company really operates as far as game design is concerned.
Yeah, I don't think it will either, but I mean...
I think shit will continue to come out from that company.
It's definitely going to make things... if anything, what this means is that sales for Ubisoft on their next title will probably be better. Just better than what they are probably projecting it to be after the failure that Unity was.
Oh, what's the next big title? When does it come out?
From Ubisoft?
Yeah.
I don't think they have any in the works right now. They're porting a game from console to PC, which is Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Right.
But that was already released. It's just going to be a port.
Yeah, because like if they don't capitalize on it soon enough, people will forget.
I mean, they've already said that the next Assassin's Creed is being worked on, and it's going to be samurais.
Amazing.
Is that actually finally going to happen?
As far as, I mean, I'll double check my facts here, but I'm pretty sure they publicly came out and said it.
I love how they go with people have wanted since like literally Assassin's Creed 2.
I love how they went from. I love how they take the idea of Assassin's Creed and then they go with samurai instead of ninja. Like, we are the bodyguards of all of the warlords that have ever ruled the nation. We are built
nations.
on honor. Not that guy over there that just kills people for money.
We are literally our nation's bullies. It's
Samurai ninja.
because I'm pretty sure like the samurai would be better suited as Templar. Like I'm just
exactly.
saying.
See what I mean? It would just make more sense to be like, you know, in the dark kind of ninja element. But
This is the thing I didn't even
samurai
know
were
either.
like having a huge cock in your ass. Like they were pretty terrible.
Whoa! Where did we go with this?
Whoa!
I forgot we were talking about penis.
Excuse me, sir, but you
talking
get to be
about
a kitty cat for a moment.
Awesome.
Jesus. That escalated quickly.
They could be going with that, the samurai or Templars. Actually, if you look at the concept of Assassin's Creed Rogue, it looks pretty cool.
Assassin's Creed Rogue looked like a game I wanted to play more than Unity.
Well, Rogue's about an assassin that that stabbed the assassins in the back and turned into a Templar.
Right, yeah, it's a
which is
defecting
a little-
assassin.
Yeah,
Which is what I mean. Like that seemed way more interesting to
look,
me.
you're a group of assassins.
I was like,
We
yeah,
haven't done
well,
that.
it was like Unity. I was like, oh my god, this story is so innovating. I start out as just some guy, and then I become an assassin and learn all their secrets, and then I somehow find a relic at the end. I was like, oh man, that sounds really interesting. Like something I've never played before. So like Rogue was coming out, and like they didn't advertise it or anything, but it was like, oh hey, now you get to be a Templar because you're a huge fucking dick. And it's like, that sounded way more interesting. That was the game I wanted to play.
Yeah, that was an exclusive for. Was it Sony's system that it was the exclusive?
No, it was just on the last gen consoles. It was PS3 and Xbox 360.
Right.
That's why it looks like crap. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the way it looks is whatever, but just the fact that it was a more interesting premise than Unity
Yeah.
was the reason I wanted to play it.
Isn't that
Isn't that Connor's dad? I think that
I think
is
he's talking
the
about
story.
the assassin that went rogue. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
it
think.
is.
No.
Isn't it? No?
No, I think it's a different time period.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Connor's dad was never part of the Assassins as far as I'm aware. He was always a Templar.
No, he was part of the Assassins. I remember that. Is
I'm
that
gonna
he
fucking
switched over?
Google it. Hold on.
And that's not how it presented itself at the beginning of Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, well,
It was they led you to believe you were playing as an assassin, and then at the end of that cutscene, spoilers. At the
Yeah,
end of that cutscene,
but
they
then he
revealed that
tells
you were playing
Connor,
as a
he's like,
Templar.
"Your dad was a wonderful assassin at one point."
Maybe.
Listen to me.
Shay Patrick Cormac. That's who it is. It's the main character, the assassin turned Templar.
Oh, for Rogue? Okay.
Yep. Shay Patrick Cormac. So I don't think that's Connor's dad.
No.
Because Shay Patrick Cormac, I don't see that person making their son's name Connor. Google fixes anything that Connor's. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the son of Connor's dad. I can't believe we're talking about this. Let's go lower. No, he was the son of Edward Kenway from Assassin's Creed 4,
Black Flag,
and he was converted to the Templars following his father's death.
Conversion.
Yeah. Does that give him an unfair advantage in esports tournaments?
Yeah, that's why there's only you're only allowed one Haytham Kenway per esports team.
All right,
He's a
I
way
think
more
there's-
interesting character than Connor. Connor was fucking boring.
I think there's two more things that we said we could, or that are on here that we would cover.
Yeah.
We can do that in 30 minutes.
Probably.
Which one we start with?
Ray, bring up the last one for us.
Yeah. There is a rumor about Netflix developing a live-action Zelda series.
Now, hold up. Is that still a rumor? Because I thought...
Well, it's a rumor in the sense that the only thing that's actually been mentioned is that Netflix is talking with Nintendo about the idea.
Yep.
So
And
that is confirmed, but there's nothing actually, suggesting that it's even going to happen.
Right.
It's just Netflix has kind of reached out to Nintendo and is like, "Hey, idea of a live action Zelda series. What do you think?"
And to that I say, talking about something being produced is not a reason for the internet to explode into thinking it's being done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Because like, yeah, I mean, every single time something like that happens, the internet goes, "It's being done." They're
It's
making
happening.
it. You know
Yay.
how many movies they talk about making and that never get made? More than you can count.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
it's
Blizzard's
just
been
like-
working on a movie for 10 years.
Exactly. They're like, no, the World of Warcraft movie coming out next year.
It's
Really
in production.
excited.
The director got fired. We got a new one.
Yeah.
Who would voice Link? It would be the same guy who voiced him in fucking Wand of Gamelon and all the shitty 3DO
Well,
games.
excuse
Well,
me,
excuse me,
princess.
princess. That's
No,
what the fan base wants.
See, that's the thing, though, is it's supposed to be live action, which is just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dumbest fucking idea for a Zelda movie ever, or a Zelda
No,
TV
here's the thing.
series.
Like, it wouldn't be a movie. It would be a series. And like, if we look at Netflix's history, they're very non-traditional with what they do in terms of their specific production work.
Right.
Like, they're very either satirical or artistic. Like, they're in kind of those two fields. So if this thing kind of does end up going through and Nintendo actually agrees to kind of do something like this and work hand in hand with Netflix, I think it could actually be a really like, how let's look at Twilight Princess, right? Let's look at the Link in Twilight Princess. You remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was one of the darkest like Zelda games. It was very there were still no characters that actually spoke. It was just the normal text dialogue and a very dark kind of environmental and
Thematically dark, yeah.
yeah. So like, what's to say they couldn't put that in a live series format? It doesn't have to be like hour-long episodes. Maybe like 20 minutes of just creating a really immersive kind of like dark experience to depict an adventure of Link.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that like look at Twilight Princess, and then it's like the artistic style of Zelda is always like everybody's super exaggerated. The monsters are very ridiculous in this exaggerated cartoony way. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's really hard to translate that kind of charm, even in the darker Zeldas, into like, oh, here's this fucking human, like this really boring.
Yeah,
looking
I guess
human.
you
So
could
your
say.
argument is specifically that a live action version of Zelda wouldn't work at all.
Yeah,
It
I
would
just
be
don't
better
think.
if it's
I just
something animated.
think you would have to animate it.
Yeah, I could.
Maybe.
I can-
I think if they could tie a good enough production team to it, like this is Netflix we're talking about, and they may not have the multi-billion dollars that Hollywood production companies have to get the directors they want.
Especially
people-
not Comcast charging them.
Right.
Oh! All right.
Well,
Sorry about
we'll
that.
talk about that later. I think there's people out there who could pull it off, especially if you wanted to go for like a Twilight Princess vibe. I think there's production teams out there that could pull it off live action, but probably not people that Netflix are going to be able to get to work on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Even that being said, if they were to go the animated route, they are going to need a really good team for that not to look
Absolutely.
like fucking Legend of Zelda: The VeggieTales Adventures.
You mean Wind Waker?
Hey, Wind Waker's great. Shut your
Wind
mouth.
Waker's amazing.
The artistic style did a fucking 180 from Twilight Princess, man.
Twilight Princess came after.
Yeah.
Shut your face! I don't know anything about Nintendo.
Twilight
Majora's
Princess
Mask, there you
was Twilight Princess was Nintendo's response to me. People being like, Wind Waker's not realistic enough.
Well, the people who were
love
pissed off
Twilight
about Wind
Princess.
Waker was just because of all of those trailers they were showing off of the GameCube's graphics, and they
Yeah.
kept showing that super realistic Zelda scene with the fight between
Quote,
Link and
unquote,
Ganon.
realistic.
That's what everybody wanted. And then Wind Waker was shown, and it was this little cartoony Link who just turned around and whipped out his sword really lamely, and they were like, Zelda! That's why that got panned initially.
I really, really, really hate the adjective realistic when talking about Zelda. Like I hate when people say that so much because it's so absurd and not realistic in the slightest. Like the art style has never intended to be realistic.
Yeah, and I mean, even Twilight
Like-
Princess wasn't really realistic, but
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was
it's-
super
it was just
exaggerated.
It's still
and,
exaggerated, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I can't. It just irks me to no end.
God,
But I mean,
that's to the English
like the important thing here is that people remember that Spike is gone into the abyss.
shh. Stop for a second. Hold on, jeez.
Yeah, the important thing is that people remember, it's like a fucking rumor. It's people talking about things. Like that's
Yeah. It's
Like,
not.
It's people
it's-
talking about things and all of these headlines going, Netflix Zelda thing coming out. And then the entire article is like,
2015.
people are talking about things.
Yeah,
There-
when
there's
it's
no
actually,
writer,
like,
there's no director, there's no nothing. It's happening.
when it's actually like somebody from Netflix's production team talked to somebody from Nintendo's PR department and were like, "Hey, you
If
think
even
you
that.
could hook us up with a business meeting? We want to discuss something with you." It's like that. That's essentially what's happened so far.
If even that, they probably talked to somebody in the mailroom and was like, don't you think it'd be really cool if we did a Zelda Netflix series?
They're like, "Yeah, let me talk to my supervisor, who will possibly talk to somebody who's possibly a little bit important." Like,
And then eventually it gets to any big name in Nintendo, and they're like, "No, we don't do traditional media. Final." I'm sorry, fucking Nintendo, man. Dumbasses.
also, they probably have PTSD from the Philips CD games.
Hmm.
They're probably like, "I remember the last time we lent Zelda out to a company."
Never again.
Good point.
Also, Other M was a recent adventure that turned out pretty terribly.
Yeah.
I keep rewatching myself and Nate's giggles when I make sense. So we're gonna finish with a big one.
Gonna finish with the big one.
Oh, sweet. Oh, we're talking about an article. Damn it! I'll put
Yep.
the lube away. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, regress.
So, the FCC is making a pretty big move as far as the internet is concerned. Their main chairman, Tom Wheeler, is going to be... I don't know when exactly it's happening. But they're going to be putting up a... Well, actually, are they putting up anything physical yet, or are they just talking about it?
Presenting proposed rules to commission this week.
This week?
Yes.
And
So-
that is going to be on the issue of net neutrality.
Specifically, reclassifying the internet as a utility, as opposed to where it sits right now, where it's just kind of this middleman where basically anyone can do what they want with it.
Right.
Wheeler states, the internet must be fast, fair, and open. That is the message I've heard from consumers and innovators across the nation. That is a principle that has enabled the internet to become an unprecedented platform for innovation and human expression.
Correct. So
So-
basically what it means by classifying the internet as a utility is that it will fall into a new standard of rules to where throttling and prioritization of traffic won't be a thing that will be allowed. Period.
Data will be treated as data
Correct.
As opposed to companies like what happened with, like, I mentioned it before about the Netflix thing with that subtle little jab, but like Comcast basically throttling Netflix's or people that use Netflix's service because Netflix wouldn't pay Comcast for the upgrades they were planning on doing, or
Yeah.
planning on doing to pay for them the bandwidth that they call for, which is, you know, illegal. At
Right.
least illegal in the terms of net neutrality being used or being classified as a utility, which it wasn't at that time.
Yeah, this huge like fucking like mafia thing. Like, oh hey Netflix, you don't want to pay? Shame if something happened to your internet service.
I know, right?
It's like, holy shit, right? I mean, and right there, like, it just proved how important it would be to classify the internet as a utility. Like, there's a reason. I mean, the UN had declared the internet a human right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's that important, right? It's
become that important. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I mean,
It's
like,
it's a
I
global
couldn't
communication
find a job
tool.
without the internet. Like,
Yeah.
think about that. Like, people would not let me hand in a resume to their companies.
Yeah, most people don't even allow you to fill out paper job applications anymore. You
Exactly.
have to
Yeah.
do it online.
Mhm.
Have to.
It's the internet it should be treated as a free and open source for information and communications, and the classification of making it a utility will finally ensure that it'll be treated that way. Unfortunately, Tom Wheeler spent over a year concluding this sort of thing, even though, you know, it should have been known because basically everyone was saying it.
Well, I mean, that's our government and its agencies as a whole. They're always
Lobbyists.
They're always 10 steps behind the curve as far as things are considered.
Lobbyists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I know
that's
you
a
guys
huge problem.
really want to make the internet a utility, but you know what you should actually do? You should come with us to this really nice resort. We'll just like
Yeah. Take a vacation.
pay for
day.
everything for
Don't
you.
worry about
Yeah,
it.
why
We'll get
don't
that
you take a
stuff
vacation and we'll talk to you about the evils of turning the internet into a utility.
Just fucking double HJs for everybody in the bathroom.
Money,
this
baby. That's why it took a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Even if Tom Wheeler was intending to do it from the start, it was guaranteed an uphill battle with like anybody he possibly had to answer to.
Right.
Because so many people are basically paid off. I mean, like, just to blatantly
wait, are we talking
put it
about
out
in
there.
support of making it a utility or against it?
What I'm saying is there'd be so many people against him making it a utility. Like,
Oh,
think
yeah,
about like
yeah.
any
Special
elected
interests and the
politician
lobbyists.
who gets campaign contributions
Right.
from those companies would be fighting him. I mean, lobbyists would be fighting. They'd be like trying to put injunctions with like the Senate or whatever, and the Supreme Court had fought to say that, you know, like, yes, they could fucking throttle the internet and offer high speeds. Like, when the Supreme Court, you know, of the United States of America says, okay, well, this is the way it has to be done, I mean, it's very hard to circumvent that decision, right?
Yeah, it is very hard to get an appeal through our Supreme Court.
I mean,
and it
yeah,
takes
essentially-
time, and it takes a lot of...
We even
Just-
had our president comment on the internet should be free, should be net neutrality, should be a thing in support of that. So
Right.
you basically have a lot of figureheads that are important, as well as a lot of figureheads that are, you know, just throwing a lot of money around.
somewhat less
On both
important.
sides.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, and that's the major fundamental
That's the
problem
thing
with the way
is-
the whole thing works is just all of that old money in America who can just force everybody's hand.
yeah,
Say,
that,
I've got a couple $1 trillion, so you want a piece?
that was essentially the problem. Was like anybody who was in support of net neutrality had to fight an ungodly sum of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, unfortunately, like, money is a really hard thing to fight. Especially, like, because you can buy so much influence. I mean...
Right.
So it's just... I mean, it's good that, like, it's finally happening, but it's so late.
To be honest, it is still just a proposition.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a guaranteed thing.
Yeah, but it's still good to finally see something being pushed in motion of net neutrality, aside from
the right direction.
Yeah, it like we've obviously seen a bunch of things about supporting the idea of net neutrality, but we've only ever seen it from people on the internet. So seeing a like in the past, like the end of 2014, we really saw a lot of people that were like actual figureheads kind of go, yeah, this is something that should be the case. And now to see the chairman of the FCC that has the ability to make this kind of thing happen say, yeah, this is the proposal we're trying to do, and it's in favor of net neutrality. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest point to that is that it's such an important name to be behind the idea of net neutrality. The chairman of the FCC is like, yes, this needs to be a thing. Yeah,
basically the person in charge of communications in America, right? I mean, which is super important. And like to make the point, it's extremely important that the net is neutral in the United States because of how many internet companies are based there, and it will affect the entire world. It also sets precedent for other countries. Like a lot of other countries will follow suit. So I mean, if like it just happens, right? I mean, that's what happens. Is like, okay, well, America's getting away with it, so we'll do it, right? I mean,
maybe some. I don't think 100%.
Yeah,
I think China.
Of course not 100%. I don't think it's
China is still going to be like, no, you can't access all of this.
I was going to make a really bad joke.
I mean, like, oh yeah, like there's like a million countries out there that wouldn't, but there are a lot that will follow suit. Like if they see it,
it'll help set a precedence. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's the important part. Is that, I mean. But, I mean, like, you think how many important or influential or big internet companies are there. It's really important that the internet stays neutral in America.
They tried to.
Yeah.
You're talking about the fast lane proposition? Where they would allow ISPs to offer a blanket internet to everyone, but if you paid more, you would get access to their fast lane connection. Right. Is that what you're talking about? Because that was something that was proposed, but it didn't work out. It was retracted
because it
thankfully.
Was still favoritism.
Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing as just removing net neutrality.
Right. So that's where we open it up to Q&A. Questions from the chat.
Yay! We've ignored you the whole day. What do you have to say?
That was a weird thing to do. It was weird to not, like, instantly respond to everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, in the interest of moving along in the conversation, it's, like, for anybody who thinks we were just outright ignoring you.
It is important when having discussions to not just sit there and answer chat the whole time.
Right, yeah.
High speed is kind of something that isn't really defined in any way. Like most ISPs will kind of just say, we have high speed internet, 10 megabytes or megabit. Like they'll
right. So long as it's not like a fucking
a
128.8 connection.
Yeah.
I mean, they offer us high speed at 20 megabits per second.
High speed 15 megabyte per second broadband.
Wiser, I cast daily, every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Gray's schedule I'm still trying to learn, and the Game Pit I think just does his own thing whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Pretty early in the morning. I usually stream around like 6 a.m. Pacific, and then stream till whenever. But
for Gray, the one guaranteed day he's not going to stream ever is on Sundays, because that's his work day.
It's a shitty day for me.
Jesus
already.
Christ, I can't believe I did that wrong.
Well,
Good job, nerd.
Forgive me, senpai.
No, I will not.
I wouldn't
Christ.
forgive him.
I'm gonna try.
That's it. Show over.
Done.
Fuck it. I quit.
Done.
First one and last one.
This is real fun, guys, but fuck it.
But yeah, so Spike's on daily. Gray, probably
As
every
much as
day
I
except for
possibly
Sunday.
can.
Yeah, just as much as he can.
But
Couple
always
guaranteed things are on this podcast, of course. Monday nights will be this podcast. On Tuesdays, it's Co-op Tuesdays with me and Gray, which kind of just happen whenever the fuck they happen.
Because we're really bad with schedules.
Yeah, we need to start nailing down a time for that, I think.
We're only going to show up on time for this podcast because we don't want to disappoint Spike. Or else we would just, or else we would just do this podcast whenever the fuck we felt like it.
Basically, yeah.
I did get a haircut, Ariel.
The other guarantee is Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights are me and Spike doing Dead Wednesday, where me and him play, at the moment, Dead Island games, possibly other thematically dead titled games in the future. And we just be really dumb and tired about it.
You have that command. Awesome.
Escape from Dead Island.
Sweet.
Fuck, Escape from Dead Island.
I need to.
I loved watching Mark play that.
And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it is kind of just whatever. On Shell's off days, I don't typically stream on the day that she streams. So my schedule just kind of floats around and I don't have a specific time. I'm terrible. I used to have a schedule and I realized I couldn't keep it anymore, so I just said I'll not worry about that and just try to cast as much as I can. It's guaranteed at least 5 days a week, typically. Will we add other casters to the podcast? Maybe in the future when we start to get more established and we want to have... There's some people that we want to bring into the conversation.
I think it'll just, like, for the most part, it's going to stay us, and then people will come in and out as, you know, we invite them.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, hey, you have something interesting to say. It's like, well, hang out with us. I'm so lonely.
You should play actual dead games that no one plays anymore. I mean, Kane and Lynch Dead Whatever is a thing.
Yeah. Kane and Lynch 72-hour stream.
House of the Dead. Andrew, I wanted to pull him into Typing of the Dead. I want to do Typing of the Dead so bad. I don't know if that has online co-op, though.
Typing of the Dead, score attack. Nate would win because he's basically a stenographer.
I'm a little trashier at that game than you'd think. I may type fucking 140 natural, but accuracy is the thing in that game, right? And I fuck up English all the time.
Fuck you, Mr. Miyamoto. Why Mr. Miyamoto? Miyamoto doesn't do anything wrong. It's Iwata. Fucks that company hard.
Wait, what?
I said Mr.
I don't know.
Miyamoto
I just heard
does.
Asian big names.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like, Mr. Miyamoto joins in. Like
Kane
the
and Lynch
stream.
Dead Man, yeah, I think that's what it was called.
Kane and Lynch Dead Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm actually from SpikeSethen, so I'm hosting. I love game talk related stuff. This will be every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. GMT, 5 p.m. Pacific. Fucking time zones. But this will be every Monday.
At a time.
Wizard 900.
For roughly 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my whole schedule list.
I forgive you.
That's why I don't keep one. I never have to fuck with it.
Like the Wu-Tang Clan?
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be careful around those guys.
I like a bunch of them dead at this
I
point.
know you. I know you often hang around the Wu-Tang Clan.
Me and the Wu-Tang Clan just hanging out on Saturday nights, you know.
Board game Saturdays with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Oh, that'd be amazing. How more podcasts will we do? Every single one ever for the foreseeable future.
As many as we can until we all just abruptly decide this is fucking hard to keep up with.
Yeah, until we decide. Until at one point we decide we actually really fucking hate each other, and then just like separate.
Oh, wait, we like each other? Shit.
All right.
We just pull. Fuck you two. That's it. All right. So I guess one. We do one podcast.
Ray's now a kitty cat. Spike's now on a toilet. I'm now invisible.
Don't you talk in my chat reels? Yes, I can hear you. And by hear you, I mean see you.
That fucking cat is too good. Oh, can a cat?
No. Oh, can a cat?
I'm a kitty cat.
Does that look gross as fuck? Schedule.
They'll keep going until they decide to give the tip the shaft. Nice.
There's already a podcast called The Shaft.
Oh,
Not surprised.
They stole our name retroactively.
It's a Minecraft podcast.
Oh, that
Called The
actually
Shaft.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fair enough. Jacob, don't you?
A Minecraft shaft.
Minecraft shaft. Any other questions from chat? Any things related to what we talked about? Not related to what we talked about? So is Spike the tip?
Mine's too small.
Yeah, Spike's a big peener.
Well, Spike's is too small. Mine's just a bump. So Gray would be the tip, I guess.
Hey.
He's the bearded fist.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
This has devolved quite quickly.
Yep.
We've gone places and we will never return from them.
So this is apparently what Q&A is going to be.
Yeah.
Penis
That's
jokes
the
and
type of Q&A I like.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not specifically objecting to it either. So.
Awesome.
What else will we talk about? It's basically just what we do is as the week progresses, from Monday to basically the Sunday before the podcast, we just keep our eye on the news, figure out what things we want to talk about, and that's what we talk about.
Great. Yeah, it's basically just a weekly recap of information from the gaming industry, the gaming news area, gaming oriented things. So not just strictly like this console's doing this or this PC's doing this, but like we covered with the Netflix thing. That's a gaming oriented sort of thing to come up. And of course, I mentioned to the Game Pits that I have pretty close ties with the hardware and tech field. So if anything kind of crops up in that, you'll also be able to hear from that or
Right.
hear about that here as well. And what'd you say, monthly budget builds? Right?
Yeah, at the end of each month, the last podcast of each month, we'll put together quite specifically, I'm sure, Spike. I mean, if we have anything to object with it, but Spike will put together a budget gaming machine for those who are interested in getting into PC gaming, that kind of fear the entrance price, who think it's too expensive. We'll put together a budget gaming machine within a reasonable enough price. And
between 500 and 800, and it'll include things like the operating system, mouse and keyboard, and monitor. So it's the whole package, not like, oh, well, this only was the case type of thing.
Right. Yeah. Just for those people who are like, well, I only game on console because I can only afford a console. We can show you that PC gaming doesn't have to be $5,000. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically the whole point of it, is to just make it aware to people that PC gaming is something that is approachable. It's not something that's, completely out of their league just because of price tag.
Right. And it's not PC Master Race or Die kind of thing. It's just for those who are interested in getting into PC gaming. We make that available because fucking
I'm able to do it.
We all met at the Happy Bears Gay Den.
Happy Bears Gay Den.
I remember that place.
Oh, those are good times.
Holy shit.
I was really happy with that.
How did we all meet? Let's see. I went into Gray's chat one night when nobody was talking to him and he had no viewers. And I was like, hi, you're playing a video game and I'm completely brand new on Twitch. Let's have fondle times. So that's how that worked. And then Jimpy pointed me to a video that Spike had put on YouTube. Jimpy was like, watch this because this explains things. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I fondled Spike and that's how that worked. But it was basically just like, I had, me and Gray had been doing stuff for a while. I didn't immediately hate Spike when figuring out his personality. So then I was randomly just like, I'm going to do a podcast. I want you two on it. And then we did a dry run, and it was super awkward. And we decided that was a good thing.
Yeah.
We're like, perfect. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
More of that sitting around, not knowing what to talk about. Yeah.
No, it wasn't the Go Isaac Go video. It was his
Also the Happy Bears Gay Den.
Happy Bears. Fucking what? Welcome to the 24-hour Witcher-thon. I didn't. That's.
I also use Windows 7. And it is currently doing a 24-hour Witcher-thon. Glad you could show up for that.
Active, false, remove. There we go. Professionalism.
Mr. McKK Live, we are doing well. How are you?
Also, hey, Game Guru.
What's up, Game Guru?
Game Guru, Heaven's Chaos.
Default Savior, all of you new people coming in. Guys. If you've been lurking, thank you for being here. If you're just coming in, we're coming to a wrap.
Oh, right. What have you guys been playing recently? Reviews in a minute. Or reviews in a sentence.
Oh, fuck.
Give me a second, I'll cook up something pretty nice.
Witcher 2. Fuck Letho in the ass.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2. Club Hole Diamond Key.
Mine's not going to be as funny as yours, damn it. I'm all bummed.
It's okay. We'll give you time.
All right. Max Gentleman, Team Fortress 2, but stacking hats.
Stacking hat. What are you playing?
Max Gentleman. Fucking look it up on Steam. It's great.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I remember that game from a long time ago.
Sounds like something I'm into.
Who the fuck made that game? It was somebody we should
I don't know,
right?
but it looks pretty good. And it looks pretty good. I mean, I'm actually going to play it with the streaming mug this Friday for Last Call.
Be careful when you search Max Gentleman.
Oh my!
Is that a thing that I should be worried about on Steam? Well, I guess
Max Gentleman. Oh, it's just hilarious, is all.
The company is just called By the Men Who Wear Many Hats.
Max Gentleman, free game. Cool. What the fuck? Hey, Octodad's in this game.
Yes.
Cool. This is a ridiculous looking game.
It is, isn't it? It's Team Fortress 2, but stacking hats.
Yeah.
I like both of those things.
I love this podcast. Great job, guys. I'm glad you like it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wait, this is called the tip? Just the tip?
BioShock. It fucking sucks. Yep. Yeah. That's an old review, though.
You don't like BioShock?
I fucking hate it. It is a terrible fucking franchise. Should have been a goddamn movie. Fuck playing that nonsense. Are you different? Are you like BioShock's amazing, like most people?
I really like BioShock.
Oh god, it's so bad.
It's not like I don't know. I really liked BioShock, but I don't know. Like when people think it's like a magnum opus of video games, it's like, well, I mean, you know, it's a really good story. The gameplay was decent.
I can explain my no, it wasn't. The gameplay was horrible. I can explain my rationale behind it if you would like me to, but that's a big long debate if you want to get into that.
My one sentence review for BioShock is electric plasmid use wrench.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why it's a bad game.
The only way. That's all you have to do in that game.
It's one of the reasons why it's a bad game.
I don't know. It's still fun to do that.
My one sentence review of BioShock is I haven't fucking played any of them.
Here's a shotgun. Still gonna use the wrench.
Ooh, shout out for Supergrey38.
That wrench is amazing.
Supergrey!
Supergrey! Get him out of here.
Let me fix that. There we go.
Get out of here, boy!
He's mad because BioShock Infinite gave him a jump scare. No.
Hashtag Spike will break your
BioShock
dreams.
Infinite give you a jump scare? Amazing.
Yeah, BioShock Infinite had the without spoiling anything, you turn around and the guy squeals at you with horns on his face.
Makes sense.
I don't remember getting scared in that game.
You push a button, you look up at a monitor, you turn around, and the guy like blows a horn in your face and then disappears. I'm really trying not to spoil anything. That is as vague as I could get.
I believe it happens. I didn't remember.
Oh, and the audio levels were atrocious. Oh, do you want me next Monday? Spike Rage is about BioShock for 2 hours. I'd do it, man. I could rant about that game forever.
Yeah, I think
the thing you have to know with me, Supergrey, is that I am very objective. I look a lot at mechanical execution. So like stuff like story, I don't give a shit. Story is just not a selling point for a video game for me.
See, that's the thing for me is that like I think, art is subjective and
yeah, art's subjective. But
yes.
Video games are art.
Video games are software.
The software has to work. This is where I want.
It works. It works.
It works until it gives me a headache because there's no FOV options in the game, so it's defective by design.
You kids who grew up with PC gaming.
I didn't grow up with PC gaming, but you know what a problem for me is? Vertigo, and I prefer an FOV slider. You know what else is a problem for me? Color blindness. And only like 3 games in my existence offer me a fucking colorblind option. There's no reason not to have these things in your game.
Especially because
you're wrong.
Especially since color blindness is so easy to do. You just adjust the color palette to make sense for people. Or you just make like symbols that can't be mistaken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, if there's fundamentally broken stuff in a game, like okay, games are art. That's a dispute of it itself. But if there's fundamentally broken mechanics in a game, that game is broken. You can still subjectively love it. I like terrible games. Spike likes terrible games.
For example, Skyrim. I love playing Skyrim. It's still a shit game.
Yeah. What I'm saying though is like even though I don't know. It's just like BioShock isn't broken. It's just because it's not like the game like soft locks on you every 30 minutes and like
I can explain it to you if you would like me to. It's a long conversation.
Yeah, like no, it's fine. Like I understand what you're trying to say, but it's just I don't know. Like I don't know.
Like the whole point that you need to capture here is that like there's a difference between subjectively liking something and then objectively liking something.
I'm
like,
aware.
All right. Well,
But-
subjectively, I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the aesthetic design of BioShock 1 and 2. I thought Infinite was a little less featureful than what was it called? The place underwater. Don't remember the name of it.
Rapture.
The characters were very well designed. The environment, the sound assets. Holy shit, the sound assets were so fucking good. But it's just I couldn't enjoy the game part of it where I interacted with it. It just felt like, God, why do I have to do this? Why can't you just have this person speak the words that need to be spoken and then get the story on?
Yeah, but that's what I mean is like subjectively you just didn't like the gameplay, right? Like
No, the difficulty scaling was wonky. There was no reason to use any of the weapons because the wrench was overpowered and the lightning ability was overpowered compared to any other thing. So there was a really wonky difficulty scale where it just became a point where you shouldn't even use any of the guns because they're just a waste of time. The enemy variety was basically next to nothing, and they decided to use the damage ratios as something as stupid as you go further through the game, they just have more health for no reason. The lack of FOV options, which, you know, I love playing video games and being uncomfortable because of that. There's just a lot of objective problems with it that could have been fixed. Can't stop this now. Nope.
So we were ending, huh?
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I can explain it. It's just it would be a really long talk.
Yeah.
no, it's fine. Like definitely willing to listen.
I did.
obviously.
Fuck you, Jacob.
Your fault, Pitt.
Fine.
But I mean, ultimately, I think it comes down to that. I less base games on whether they're objectively good or not, and just
Yeah, it's
on my
differing
subjective-
opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, what will happen on this cast a lot, I think, is you will offer why it's objectively good or bad, and then I will be pretty subjective on that point. Because for the most part, like unless it's like it's broken, like you can't play it, like I don't
Like
really
Unity?
mind. Yeah, exactly. Like if it's like Unity, then I get really pissed off. But if it's just like, yeah, the game mechanics aren't super amazing, but I still had a lot of fun, then I just kind of ignore that altogether. And I just base it on subjectiveness. So
And that's a very valid way to give feedback to other people and game developers. Is just I enjoyed it. There may have been
yeah,
things.
I mean, the
but I
important thing
enjoyed
is
it,
to
so
remember. The important thing to remember, I mean, because we'll review bigger releases and stuff when they come out, and like we'll talk about them on the show. Is that like I will always make sure people realize it's a subjective opinion. I'll give my reasons for my opinion, but I mean, everyone will have their own, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the important thing to remember.
Stop.
It's also why I will probably never give anything a rating out of any other system but the 1.0 to 1.2.
1.0 to 1.2.
That's the only rating system I use.
I don't use a rating system.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably have one, and my viewers probably know it as Spike hates this. Spike loves this.
Hashtag
We're
Spike hates
ending.
this.
For God's sake, before I piss myself.
Oh, okay. You can go urinate, sir.
No, we're ending.
All right. So shameless plugging, and then walk away.
Basically, yes.
I'll go first.
Wait, you're down there.
Yes, I will go first. Hello, everyone. I'm Spike of SpikeSethenTV on the Twitch, minus the TV portion because that's just my label, not what I really am. But no, in seriousness, I'm a variety caster on Twitch. You can find me on my Twitter handle over in one of these two directions, Facebook and YouTube, and also Twitch, SpikeSethen, twitch.tv/SpikeSethen. I'm live daily. I play a variety of games. I like to prioritize difficulty and complexity, stuff like Stalker, Metro, Dragon Age Origins up until the point dice roll comes in, and then I'll give a shit, etc. If you enjoyed, check me out. If not, I'll be here every Monday, so you're stuck with me.
Follow that man.
Oh, purged. Yeah, I mean, I'm also a caster. I don't do YouTube currently. Right now, I'm playing through all of the Resident Evils this month. I'll be taking a break for the Co-op Tuesdays. I might take a break here and there just to play something else, but ultimately, I'll be running through all of the Resident Evils I can get my hands on. I stream in the morning, which is about 6 a.m. Pacific and what is that, 9 a.m. Eastern? So,
yep, 3-hour difference.
Yeah.
Around those times. Yeah, I mean, I just like to have a lot of fun. I try to keep my cast as positive as possible. Try to be up-spirited, I guess, but upbeat, spirited. I don't know. Just fuck up, Nate. That's how positive I am. But
I love your face.
no, I mean, yeah.
You can also find his Twitter handle right below me, Mr. Grey1. If you want to follow him on Twitter, that's the best way to know when he is casting.
It does automatically update.
Yes. Anything else, Gat?
Penis.
Penis.
Yay! Sorry. Got excited.
And I am the Game Pit. I'm the one you've been watching this channel thingy on. That made sense. I'm a variety caster, just like everybody else. I have no set schedule. I do try to be live at least 5 days a week. Monday nights here, 8 p.m. Eastern, is the podcast with Mr. Gray and Mr. Spike. Tuesdays is Co-op Tuesday with Mr. Gray and myself playing dumb games and yelling at each other. And Wednesdays are quite specifically Dead Wednesdays with Mr. SpikeSethen. Where we're currently playing Dead Island, and then Dead Island Riptide, and then Dead Island 2, maybe? And then other games with dead in them.
Yep.
Because that's the dumb caveat. We decided on a stupid joke.
Yep. Live.
Dead Wednesday sounded good.
Yeah. But otherwise, if you want to know about me, information down below the cast. You can follow me at Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I barely pay attention to that YouTube, but that's where the podcasts will be going up as well. All of those are with a 1 in the I because the Game Pit is a fucking almost impossible name to get without having to use 1 for the I.
Except for on Twitch.
Except for on Twitch. Yeah.
Score!
Because Game Pit exists, right?
Yeah.
They decided not to put the in there.
The salt is real.
The salt is real. But yeah, so that is the first tip podcast.
Just the tip.
If I ever stream, I will stream XCOM just because I know you hate it, and I will make you watch. Oh no, I love watching people play XCOM. I don't. Okay, I have no problem with XCOM, man.
Holy
no
shit.
problem, except for when I play it, because fuck that game. Everyone else, you can have fun, but fuck that game.
Yeah.
It is a brutal game.
It is a dice roll game.
Oh, let me keep hitting that on accident.
99% hit chance. Kills your teammate.
That's
it.
That's it. Oh, we're done.
Because
We're done.
99%.
We're
All
done.
right, have fun.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Much appreciated. Remember to hit the follow button on me, Supergrey38, SpikeSethen, if you want more of us. If you don't want more of us, Google is full of porn. So just do that.
Yes.
Lots of porn.
Happy Bears Gay Club.
Alright.
Good job,
Bye.
baby farts.
Bye now.
Bye, everybody. Awkward.
Spike!
Jesus fucking Christ.
I hope that was at least on cast.